Hello, people. It's me, Danny Graham. Welcome back to my show. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I was out of town taking care of some business down in Myrtle Beach. For those of you that know anything about South Carolina, this past weekend I was down there for Bike Week. Had to take care of some business, but now I'm back. I'm ready to roll. Tonight I really don't have a topic, but I want to talk to you all. And what I want to talk about is just the state of the MCU, the DCU, comic book movies in general, in particular Endgame. Now, I said if you watch my clip, I think 2 or 3 uploads ago, I sent out a show, an episode, telling you that I believe that Endgame will surpass Avatar. As the day I just finished looking at it, is $2.6 billion, and it's $16 million away from crossing to 2.7, and $100 million from crossing and beating James Cameron's Avatar. I think it'll do that. The projected in total, what I read was $2.79 billion. I think it will do that. Now, two reasons in particular is why, in my opinion, well, it's fact, is why Endgame hasn't already beaten it. Avatar was in theaters longer. As I told you, I'm going to refresh your memory. It was in the theaters about 8 months, 34 weeks, which is a big advantage. Even back then in 2009, I think it came out 2009, 2010. Second reason why it's still beating Endgame is because it really pushed 3D. 3D came out back then. It was a big thing. All the lights, all the film that they used, the way they shot the camera, it was awesome in 3D. It is, and as we all know, if you go and watch movies in 3D, it's going to cost more. So that's what raised money. But Endgame did all this with little or no 3D sales. That's another good point. Now, whether or not Endgame should come out and kind of revamp it, or resell it, or re-advertise it, and say, look, you're going to do 3D this next 2 months, whatever. They would definitely go over it if they do something like that. I don't know whether or not they want to pour the money into that, or get it that way. I don't know, but I definitely think Endgame, by the end of the day, will surpass Avatar. Also, a lot of people talk about reboots, particularly in DCU. I think Ezra Miller, the guy that plays the Flash, his contract is up. I can't think of the name of the guy that plays Cyborg, but his contract is up. As you know, we lost Ben Affleck, and we lost Superman, Henry Cavill. The only one left now is Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa, Aquaman and Wonder Woman. I don't know what they're gonna do. I would, at this point, scrap it. I would first of all, I would go to Canada and get the guy that plays the Flash on the CW, Grant Gustin. He is awesome. I think he will translate and transfer it onto the big screen. He will be an awesome, awesome, awesome Flash. That's what I would do. I would do a Flashpoint. Then that way I would recast I would go and try and get Henry Cavill back from The Witcher. I would even try another attempt at getting Ben Affleck back. I don't think he's going to come back. But if not, I would recast. I don't think I would go for the younger Batman. What are they going to do with the Patton? The guy from Twilight. I wouldn't do the younger Batman. I think Ben Affleck nailed Batman. And of course, people talk about reboots. Well, they had 4 different Batmans. If you remember, in 1988 and 89, Michael Keaton was the first Batman. Then he did 2 Batman movies. Then they had Val Kilmer, did the one with the Riddler and Two-Face, which was not good. Then after that, they did George Clooney. I think he did 1 or 2. He definitely did 1. He did the one with Mr. Freeze and with Poison Ivy. Then they went to Christian Bale, who was awesome, along with him, and Heath Ledger, I think is the best Joker. Some YouTubers say that the only reason he got the Oscar was because he died. I don't think so. I think he did an awesome, excellent version of the Joker. We all know that Jack Nicholson is Jack Nicholson, awesome actor, but we know that his Joker, in my opinion, wasn't as serious, wasn't as dynamic, in my opinion, as Heath Ledger's Joker. Jack Nicholson's Joker had good parts, and it was more clownish and more fun than the Joker was in Heath Ledger's version. But Um, in my opinion, Heath Ledger did the better Joker. The one that they did in the Suicide Squad with I can't think of his name. It totally sucked. I'm glad he didn't do that. I'm glad they only did one. They were talking about making a standalone movie, him doing it, but his Joker was totally awful. I'm curious to see how Mr. Phoenix is gonna, or Queen Phoenix is gonna do his Joker. He's getting a lot of good reviews and getting a lot of good publicity behind it, but still we hadn't seen it yet. A lot of times, we see movies and the clips look outstanding, but when we get there, it doesn't hold up the clips, only the good parts of the entire movie. So the jury is still out, in my opinion, about this new upcoming Joker. A lot of things I'm hearing on different channels I watch is that how is the X-Men gonna get back into the MCU, because they're not sure. There's a lot of mixed reviews about this Dark Phoenix, whether or not it's going to be good, whether it's not going to be bad. Should the X-Men die down for 4 or 5 years and then reboot? I think the X-Men can stay just like it is. Maybe take a 2-year hiatus, but then what I would do in Black Panther 2, during the end credits, I would have T'Challa somewhere in Africa on some kind of secret mission. Somebody stole some vibranium, or you see where somebody's trying to do something, and he's fighting over there, and then he sees a woman, and she's fighting as well. And when they turn around and lock eyes, it's Storm. Then it goes blank, and then we know, of course, in the comic books that Storm and T'Challa get married, a husband and wife, they fall in love. So that's how I would reintroduce the X-Men back into this MCU universe. Also, after that, when it comes to this 5th phase, right now they're in phase 4. Whenever they go to the next phase, I would do a crossover of Black Panther and the X-Men and reintroduce them that way. Just my idea, just my 2 cents. That's how I would get the X-Men back. I wouldn't let them be dead for 5 years like people are saying. I would give them maybe 2 years break, write a good script, and come back and introduce it that way. That would be perfect. It would line up, and that could be a Black Panther 3 featuring the X-Men. That's what I would do. Just food for thought. What else is going on? People talk. I think also that's going to help, like I said in my last clip, what's going to help Endgame get over that hump, the 2.7 whatever it is $billion it needs to surpass Avatar. I think that whenever Spider-Man comes out in July the 2nd, that's going to re-energize Endgame. People are going to want to see it, so they'll be able to know the continuing story for those of us that haven't watched, of those who have not watched Endgame yet. I want to watch it another time. I've already watched it 3 times already. It's awesome each time. I think Spider-Man Far From Home will re-energize Endgame, pull it back up, and then give it a nudge to get over that $2.7 billion that it needs to surpass Avatar. Also, there are going to be 2 stars from the Marvel Universe. Samuel Jackson is going to be starring in his another movie, the Shaft. I think this is going to be involving his son. It's going to be the new Shaft. I think that's going to, when they see Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, that may prompt some people to go want to see it. Also, Men in Black International is going to star Chris Hemsworth, the guy that played Thor. I think that may spark up some people to go back and see Endgame. When they see Thor, they put two together. Yeah, let's check that out. Just my opinion, just my theory. Maybe something to it, may not be something to it. But I definitely think that Marvel is going in the right direction. DCU should take some notes, because another big thing, before I lose my train of thought, is that Sony is really wanting Venom to be a part of the Spider-Man world. Of course, Spider-Man, Marvel and Sony have kind of made a partnership. They can use Spider-Man, and now Sony want to try and nudge Venom in there. I don't know how exactly they would tie Venom, since they're in seem to be 2 different realities, and Venom is without Spider-Man, and now the way they paint Eddie Brock is a good guy. So I don't know how they would do that. Only thing I can see what they possibly could do is that make enough time pass between after Venom 2, when he's fighting Carnage, maybe Venom becomes Agent Venom. And if you follow the cartoons, Agent Venom and Spider-Man are friends. So maybe they could do it that way. I'm not sure how they could do it. But if they get good writers, a good script, but I'm sure if anybody can do it, Kevin Feige can do it. And also, while they're trying to get that story and that script written, maybe by that time the Russo brothers will be done fulfill their obligation with the other studio, and then come back and do their magic, tie things all back together. If anybody can do it, that team of the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige can do it. That's pretty much all I had today. I just want to try to talk. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, in particular, just the state of what DCU and what MCU are doing, and I'm looking forward to the movie that's going forward. As you know, movies that we are definitely knowing that's coming out. There's going to be another Doctor Strange, another Black Panther, a Black Widow, a Chinese, I think Chung-Li, I think is his name, and I think there's going to be a Guardian of the Galaxy 3. So those are 5 movies that I think are going to be next part of the phase. Tell me what you think. Leave any comments. Give me a thumbs up. Any questions you may have, any topics or discussions you'd like for me to discuss or research, I'd be more than happy. Please leave your comments. All your comments are appreciated. They're needed. And as always, I just want to tell you, stay safe, stay cool. As always, I'm going to end the show. Peace.